Mark, you're really good at IT. There might be a career in that for you.
No, I did that before and I wanted to die.
No, I think you could go back.
No, I can't. I burned a lot of bridges when I left.
You can always rebuild a bridge.
I'm talking scorched earth, motherfucker.
Oh, I'm quick as fuck now, boy.
Oh, sorry.
I'm whipping across the screen with just a flick of the wrist.
Fuck yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Ugh.
I was just watching the trailer for the new Superman movie.
All right.
Have you watched it yet?
I did. I watched it. I think I watched it 3 times this morning when it came out.
It's pretty crazy how many characters they're introducing. I know it's not supposed to be an origin story or anything, but still.
True. I was surprised. I knew Mr. Terrific was going to be in it.
I can't believe they cut that deep of a character.
How about the fact that we have Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner?
Yeah, I like that they went with... I mean, I gotta be honest, he looks like a douche.
Which, I mean, that's what you want from Guy Gardner, though.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely at first thought that the guy that played Superman was Nathan Fillion.
I can see that.
Yeah, good deep cuts.
I think the biggest takeaway that I have from the movie, the trailer, one, I am very excited to see more crypto.
Well, we know you've been trading crypto since Dogecoin first came out. Oh my god!
Mining.
Is it a coincidence that Doge and crypto?
Well, crypto came first.
I know cryptocurrency's been around for a while, but
me, even the dog though.
What dog?
The crypto dog.
Yeah, Doge.
If Superman turns and is like, "Oh, your name's Doge," I'll just get up and leave.
Oh, who's a good Doge?
I was just like, "Well, thanks, James. I made it 5 minutes into this movie and I'm leaving."
You're a good heckin' pupper.
I'd be fine with that. That'd be adorable. But then the other takeaway I have is I can't wait to see more of Nick Holt as Lex.
I'm a little conflicted on Nick Holt.
Why? I love Nick Holt.
I've only ever seen him in like 3 things.
Which 3 things?
X-Men, First Class.
Great as Beast.
X-Men Days of Future Past.
Also great as Beast.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Okay, still great as Beast.
I guess technically X-Men Dark Phoenix.
So you've only seen him in the X-Men movies?
I saw a little bit of him as Renfield.
He was. I thought he was the best part of that movie.
I mean, the movie was called Renfield. He should have been the best part of that movie.
Well, I mean, it's hard to be the best part of a movie when Nicolas Cage is starring next to you.
And Aquafina.
And Aquafina.
Aquafina.
Aqua.
She's straight up fiending up in this bitch.
Did you not watch
sorry.
Warm Bodies?
I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. I had a dark moment there.
It's okay.
I did not get to see Warm Bodies. No, I've heard good things about it though.
That is a fun movie. It is very good.
It's like Twilight, right?
Yeah, but zombies. And it's much better than Twilight.
I don't know. Twilight's still like one of my guilty pleasure movies.
I hate Twilight. I hate it with a passion.
Why?
It's garbage. That's why.
It's phenomenal, first of all.
No.
Second of all, 9/11, do I need to remind you?
I remember. I remember.
My Chemical Romance, ever heard of it?
It goes so much deeper than that because Stephanie Meyer even recognizes Muse as a huge inspiration.
Oh, I know. I'm fully aware that... Oh, God. That whole thing was a train wreck of a story to get from point A to where we're at now.
But anyways, no, Nick Holt is great. Everything that he's in. Did you not watch Mad Max Fury Road?
No. Was he the guy that spray painted his face?
He's spray paint. He's all jacked up and
What a Lovely
white.
Day.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, I figured it looks like him, but no, I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
Dude, it's a fun movie.
I don't like
He's so
fun movies. I'm more into the movies that make you like think and, you know.
Mark, you've never thought a day in your life.
That's not true. I've been thought all day.
I've been
You didn't see that one coming, did you?
man, I didn't.
Knocked that one out of the park. No, but back to Superman. Like, I like that they're introducing so many characters, and I like that he gets to fight a fucking kaiju.
I'm so on board for that.
There's also a lot of. Go ahead. Sorry.
Also, I'm gonna say the teaser trailer showed you more of Superman saving people than the past 10 years of Superman has done.
Yeah, there was also a lot of sexual tension between Superman and that one blue robot.
I did think that was like, why is this in the teaser trailer?
Also, like, they have fucking Zordon and shows up and his face is all gross.
Oh, all right. Who is that?
I have
Who's
no
that
idea.
supposed
I
to
don't
be?
know.
Okay.
You know me, I like to avoid spoilers.
Knowing James Gunn, it's someone deep in lore.
Let's see.
Like, in comic book history.
Superman trailer.
Blueface.
Zordon. Apparently, I'm not the only person that's made that connection.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I can't say I'm surprised.
Okay, so it's on Thread, which, as you know, is the Instagram, Twitter. Somebody tweeted, the Superman teaser was great, but why the hell was Zordon there? Are the Power Rangers canon? At which point, a lot of people say, we all know it's a joke, but it's actually the White Walker building up to a Game of Thrones crossover.
That's what the face looks like.
A lot of people think that it's Metamorpho.
Let me just say, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy who they have playing Superman looks good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I think it is.
I can tell there's going to be a lot of heart to the movie, which is what has been lacking in a Superman movie.
Oh, I'm not looking for any heart. I just want to watch Superman punch things.
That's not. But then just go back and watch the other movies.
No, there hasn't been a good Superman movie yet.
What are you talking about? You're saying there hasn't been a good Superman movie?
Not a single one.
The what?
You name one good Superman movie.
The first one.
Which first one? Like Superman
Christopher Reeves
from the 1940s? Because those were terrible.
Those were they did good for considering what they were trying to do.
Sure.
I'm talking about the Christopher Reeves one.
Okay, but Christopher Reeves is problematic.
I don't care that Christopher Reeves is problematic. I just care about how the movies made me feel as a kid.
Dude pretended to be in a wheelchair for years.
Asshole.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I've actually ever watched Superman, the original Superman movies.
What? How?
I wasn't allowed to watch superhero movies as a kid.
That's not true.
That is true. The first superhero movie I saw was Thor.
No, it wasn't.
What was?
I don't know. I just know it wasn't Thor.
Yeah. No.
Mark, you're full of shit.
What year did Thor come out?
Like 2010.
Maybe it was Incredible Hulk.
Maybe.
No, maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm completely wrong. I remember.
Yeah, you're fucking wrong.
We saw Hulk 2003 at a drive-in theater, and it was bad.
And you've seen the Batman movies.
Yeah, that was different though. That's not really a superhero.
Those are superhero movies.
He doesn't have any superpowers.
I don't care. He's still a superhero.
Okay, look, we won't get into that debate again.
You're going to tell me that Batman isn't a superhero?
No, he is a hero, but he has no superpowers.
I beg to differ. I think he is a superhero. He goes above and beyond what a normal, regular hero would do.
Okay, so he's a super space hero then.
What are you talking about? A super space hero?
No, not space hero. Super space hero. Not superhero, one word. 2 words. Superhero.
Why does it...
But yeah, no, Batman is definitely a superhero.
Yes. No shit.
How you been, bud? How are things? How are things?
Stressed.
I can tell.
My Jasmine says hi.
Oh, I heard her. It sounded like she sounded like an Animal Crossing character.
Jasmine is an Animal Crossing character. What are you talking
I know.
about?
Oh, I heard Gwyneth.
Yeah, I don't know how you could miss it.
Oh, she's a good girl. She's a horse.
He's a cow.
Oh, be nice. She's not a cow.
No, we call her a couch cow all the time.
Oh, but she's built like a horse.
She might be built like a horse, but she is a cow.
Oh. So she'll make good burger.
Oh, no.
Real talk, though. Would you try dog meat just once?
Man, I don't know under what context. Is it wolf? He asked me if I would eat dog meat.
Just
And I
once.
asked under
Like,
what,
just to try
under
it.
What?
For me, it's more... It's back to the penguin thing. I want to try eating a penguin. You think I shouldn't. Ethically speaking...
Once again, I stand by it. They mate for life.
What if it's both the penguins?
If you find a loner penguin that looks like it's about to commit suicide, that's fine.
Okay, there it is, folks. 4 years later, I got permission to eat a fucking penguin.
I didn't say you have permission. I just said under these strict... Yeah, you're going to go out... All right, who hasn't been with... Who's the incel of the group?
Which one of you penguins out here masturbates the most frequently?
Who's the one with the most pebbles up your dick hole?
Which of you penguins has the biggest right arm?
It's so big he can't even lift his wing.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd try dog meat just once.
I don't. Once again, I feel like it has to be under certain parameters.
It's definitely
Like
it's not canine meat. It's definitely like a domestic dog meat.
See, I'm not doing that.
Life or death situation. You're not doing it.
Nah, man, because that dog could be my best friend.
Dog was already dead when you found it.
Well, then I'm definitely not eating it.
The dog got shot as you were standing near it. You hadn't had.
Well, then I maybe, but still.
We'll say it's still pretty fresh.
How desperate for food am I? You said life or death. How bad is it?
Walking Dead season 2 before they found Herschel's farm. At the point that they were like eating dog food.
All right, I might consider it. If the dog is shot and I didn't shoot it.
Right, no, you saw the dog, it was like...
And I didn't even, like, sign on. Someone else was like, I shot this dog. I'm like, oh my god, you're a monster.
You're walking up and you see the dog running towards you all happy-go-lucky like it's a movie, and then it gets old Yellard.
I don't think I could eat it, but he made it sad. He just made it very real. I'm just like,
oh, old Yeller, no.
Well, old Yeller had rabies, and you still can't eat that.
Yes, you can. They cured rabies.
You still... They did not cure rabies. What do you mean they cured rabies?
There is a cure for rabies.
Yeah, I don't want to have to do it.
Well, you wouldn't be able to. It's in the zombie apocalypse, man.
Well, then I'm definitely not doing it. I think that's how the zombie virus is getting spread.
No, that's from a bat.
I'm right. Bats have rabies.
Right, but they found a cure.
This is zombie apocalypse rules.
You're a vet. Shit. Okay, should we talk about King Kong and how
I mean, we might as well.
this movie
we're here for.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. This movie is ranked lower than Godzilla versus Mothra at this point for me.
All right, I need you to explain to me why is it lower than Mothra versus Godzilla?
I'm gonna be honest with you. For once, this is gonna sound crazy. For once, I was more interested in the human element of the story than I was the kaiju element of the story.
The human element of this story is the most entertaining part.
It was okay. Let me explain when I was sold on the voice actors for this one. When Doctor
I feel like you and I have the same moment.
When Doctor Who opened his mouth and the Burgermeister Meisterburger's voice came out of it, I was like, yes. Hell yes.
Okay. I mean, it's a little bit different, but yes, I love the voiceover for the males in this movie. I think he did most of the men.
He did. Oh yeah. Well, because this movie was done by Rankin Bass, right?
Right. And do you know why?
Because they could do it cheap.
No.
Why?
This movie is a tie-in
to the TV, the cartoon.
This is the tie-in to the Rankin Bass King Kong anime.
I wouldn't even call it an anime so much as it was a cartoon, man.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
It was a Japanese only King Kong TV show for children.
No, it wasn't Japanese only, was it?
They may have come out with an English dub, but this was a direct tie-in to that to the anime.
Oh my god! I thought that it was an American show. My bad.
No.
Yeah, it was. This was the.
It's all good.
This was an adaptation of the first 3 episodes, right?
I don't know if it's an adaptation of the 3 episodes because there's quite the departure. So that King Kong series was mostly centered around Godzilla with not Godzilla, King Kong with this. Yeah, King Kong with these kids and their family.
Right.
And it was King Kong literally going against different monsters, literally like mustache twirling bad guys, which we get in spades in this movie, and aliens. So this, I mean, yeah, this King Kong Escapes had a huge impact on the overall Godzilla and Toho monster franchises.
Which I want to say, speaking of the production of this film, I love that there were the Japanese actors that got dubbed over for the American version, but there were also the American actors that were just American actors in Japan.
Right. You're talking about the main commander of the submarine.
Only 2 white people in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, of all of the main.
What's the other white? What's the other white actor?
The actor, the girl, the blonde girl.
No. She's not American.
Well, she's white though.
She's not white.
Yes, she is. Her name is Linda Miller. She was born in Pennsylvania.
That is. Are you talking about because the voiceover? That is not her.
The actress's name that plays her is Linda Miller.
You're talking about the blonde that King Kong is super into?
Yeah.
She is not. She may look quote unquote white, but all of her lines are ADR'd.
Sure, they may be ADR'd. I looked the actress's name, full name, Linda Jo Miller, is an American actress known for King Kong Escapes and 2 other movies. She lived in Japan for most of her life, and then she starred in King Kong Escapes. But she was born in Pennsylvania of the United States.
So she spoke in Japanese?
No.
Dude, her lines are ADR'd over.
Yes, the Japanese version they ADR'd over it with with a Japanese voiceover, but in King Kong Escapes, her English lines are done by her. The two white actors did all their lines in English, and then they dubbed over it in Japanese.
I just don't, because, dude, I'm telling you, in the American version, which is the only version that is available in the States to us, so we both watched the same movie.
Yes.
Her lines are ADR'd over.
Okay.
There is some of the worst, like, ADR, like, lip reading.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say at this point, I'm telling you what I have found. It said, from everything I've found, it says that she portrayed the character and voiced her American dub.
Then they're weird. Then if that's true, they're just weird.
They Tommy Wiseau'd it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, there's ADR moments. Oh, she was in Elvis and Me. Interesting.
What's Elvis and Me?
Oh, it was an adaptation of the book by Priscilla Presley.
Linda Joe?
What?
Who was in that movie?
Linda Miller.
I don't think we're looking at the same Linda Miller.
Yes, she was in King Kong Escapes.
Huh. Man, what a crazy thing that she is having such... We have very different things that we're finding about this actress.
Also, it says she's born in New York.
Where are you finding this info?
Dude, I'm, like, on her bio.
Where?
For, what is it? So I looked at Wikipedia, and then I also looked at IMDb.
Huh. Like, I wish I could say I'm fucking with you on this, but I am not fucking with you on this one. Because I was on a night, I was also on her IMDb and Wiki, and they both say Pennsylvania.
No, I mean, I'm on her IMDb right now.
I'm gonna share my screen.
Linda Miller was born on 16th of September 1942 in New York City, New York.
That's not the same Linda Miller then, because this one says born December 26, 1947 in Pennsylvania. Oh, went too far.
Like, go to her profile.
Where do I go to her profile?
I mean, just like where it's got like her headshot and stuff.
This is what we've got. They don't have a headshot for her.
Dude, I have a full headshot and everything.
But then her wiki page also says she was born in Pennsylvania.
How are there? Is there two Linda Millers?
This is Linda Miller.
On this movie?
This was Linda Miller 4 on Wikipedia. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
This is the one you're looking at? This is not the same Linda Miller.
But it's for King Kong Escapes.
No. Yeah, she's not in King Kong Escapes.
Why am I looking at this person's profile and it says that it is?
I don't know what the fuck's going on with your computer tonight, but because the Linda Miller from this movie was in this movie, The Green Slime, The New Norm, and My Three Sons. That was it.
I'm literally on the cast page for King Kong Escapes, and it takes me to her profile.
That is so bizarre. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Top cast, King Kong Escapes. Linda Miller. Yeah, I don't know why. That's weird, man. Linda. I have no idea what's going on, man. That's crazy.
Dude, this is fucking weird.
That's irritating. Okay, well, we're not going to argue about that semantics on it. All I know is that Rankin Bass's voice cast for this was absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Very.
To the point that there were definitely times that it took me out of the out of the movie completely.
There is a line reading for Doctor Who, which is one of my favorite lines. He's like, "I could kill you, and I would." And it's like, okay.
Thanks for the heads up,
It's
man.
my favorite line. I love that line delivery so much. I was like, amazing, fantastic, absolutely. But before we get a little bit into the plot of the movie, though, I will say, so this is not the first time that we have seen. This movie has so many people that we've already seen.
Does it really?
Yes. What's his name? I've got the list up here. Hideo Anamoto,
Okay.
who's Doctor Who, has been in other King Kong, Godzilla movies that we've watched.
Okay.
So has Mei Hama, which was Madame Piranha.
Madame Piranha. That was the spy girl?
The main, like the girl who's like a representative for a country we know nothing about.
Right, which it's presumed to be Japan.
Or anywhere, really.
Yeah.
But she was in King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh my God, she was.
Yeah. And she is also, which I brought up when we watched that movie, we did that episode. To reiterate, she is also a Bond girl, and You Only Live Twice. Which, and to also cycle back to James Bond, this movie is hugely influenced by James Bond.
Man. This movie, my God. I will say, it was not a great movie. It was
not boring, though. It's a fun watch.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just there was no depth to the story at all.
None. It is very much a turn your brain off. I mean, the thing is, the characters, all the actors are putting in everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, I will say though, once again, and I think we said it before with Hideo Anamoto, I am so distracted by his teeth.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's an absolute problem.
The top, he is the most perfect teeth you've ever seen, to the abyss, to the bottom row of his mouth.
God.
To the point where once you notice it, you cannot look away.
You can't unsee what you've done seen.
Yeah, and I would like to say, so Hideo has, when I was watching him, one, because the moment you see him on screen, you're like, that's him. That's the bad guy. Because
he shows up wearing a fucking cape.
Full on black and white satin cape.
He shows up and I'm like, oh my God. I bet that's the bad guy.
He's more of a bad guy than the bad guy in in Mothra. You're like, that guy's bad. Like, he's just evil.
My favorite thing is the movie starts off with them being evil, and they're like, we're gonna
immediate level of evil.
We're gonna destroy everything with this new element.
This element
X. No
Which
shit.
Is so fun. So, her official name is Madame Piranha.
Yes.
Which is a great name. In the English dub, it is Madam X.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
They've got their evil base set up, and they're like, we're gonna dig up all of the element X.
Where's the evil base located, you might ask? It's in the North Pole.
They took over Santa's workshop. See, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, this takes place in Hokkaido again. because it's snowing, right? Because in my brain,
and you're like,
the only place that ever snows in Japan is Hokkaido.
yes.
And then he's like, we took over the entire North Pole. Like, did you now? Did you fucking...
One of my favorite things. Yeah, who fought back on that? One of my favorite things about Hideo, his just overall vibe, his look.
Oh, yeah.
It made me feel like Bill Hader and Dick Van Dyke molded into a single person together.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that.
It was the whole time I'm watching, I'm like I was straight up like, man, I'm really glad I'm not fucking stoned out of my mind right now, because I'd swear that was Bill Hader. Like, and Dick Van Dyke, and like doing a really bad Asian impersonation. He looks like
he was trying to cosplay as the Wizard of Oz. And so he made his hair as big as possible.
Oh man, that hair was amazing.
Hair was beautiful.
It's beautiful mane of hair.
And his evil, well, I mean, it contains his evil brain. It's huge.
It's massive. It makes him look smarter than he is.
Oh, 100%. Because...
Can we talk about the existence... All right, so let's... Hold on real quick. All right, so before we get deep into this, there's not much to get deep into. It's very surface level of a movie. But so they're after this element X,
yes,
which is a new... Essentially, it is pouring out radiation.
Right.
So they're looking to make a weapon out of this thing of atomic proportions. This is why I love this movie. There is no wasting any time at all from the get-go. There are pacing issues throughout the movie, don't get me wrong. But as far as the people came here to see King Kong and a Mecha King Kong, so let's give it to them from go.
Yes.
And there's the full explanation of, I've made a superior Kong. I have made things that the original Kong could never do.
I stole these ideas from my old friend in the army place. I'm an evil bitch.
I stole these, and I made improvements on his design.
I will be able to make so many more deliveries on Christmas Day.
So, they make this Mecha King Kong to go into the mines to get the element X, because organisms can't do it because of the radiation, so they're like, we'll send this giant mech down there to do it. All right, that's fine, that's fair enough. Until that mech just shorts out because of the radiation and they lose radio control, because it's controlled by radio waves, is how it's explained.
Yeah, it's like a remote-controlled car.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why it malfunctions from being exposed to the element X for too long. And then it breaks down, to which then their solution is, fuck it, let's just go kidnap the real Kong. He can do it.
Yeah, they were like, nothing, no living creature will ever make it down in the mine.
No living creature.
Okay.
I did this because Kong could never do this, so I built a superior Kong. To which is one of my favorite things, that this is the whole reason that this giant mech exists in the first place. And one of the first lines that he says when Kong, they do kidnap Kong. They send Kong down into the mine using a similar radio mind control thing to send Kong down there. And the first thing that Doctor Who says is like, look at him go. He does things that my Kong could never do.
A machine could never dig like that. And I'm like, dog.
You just said.
So this, I love again, just how cartoonish evil this guy is from the rip. Because, like, it's not like they pull a lever and a giant door opens or anything and Mechanikong comes walking out. No, he has been building this thing underground, like deep underground in the North Pole. excuse me. And then it is lifted up on a giant fucking elevator through a landing bay that opens up to and this thing is 4 times taller than the landing bay, which is already supposed to be pretty huge, right?
Yeah.
How much fucking mining did this guy have to do before he could even build the damn thing?
That's one of the look, we're getting into ridiculous James Bond villain elements. How do these?
Well, he's supposed to be. Yeah, he's supposed to be an evil James Bond villain.
You don't ask why the lair or how the lair. You just accept that there is a lair.
Okay, so there is a lair, and he built this giant monkey, but then later on we see that within this giant lair, once he, as we said, he goes and gets King Kong, right? He puts King Kong in a giant, prison cell.
Which is just connected to the mine.
Yeah. It's just, if King Kong woke up and wanted to, he could just fucking leave.
There is a separate prison. There is a separate cage. Which leads me to believe the plan was always to capture Kong.
Right, yeah. No, the plan was always to capture Kong. But before we get too far into, big spoiler, whatever, it happens. Everyone knows that King Kong is going to get abducted. Let's talk about the good guys of this movie.
You mean the good guys that just so happen to be on a submarine and they're on an expedition and they're looking at papers of King Kong, but they have no intention of seeing King Kong? And then they accidentally somehow end up close enough to the island. They're like, we should go check out that island. Oh shit, Kong's here.
Yeah, let me tell you about this giant monkey thing I know about on this island that nobody will ever be able to find again.
I actually heard from these papers, this mythical creature that lives on Mondo Island. Why is it Toho keeps changing the name of the island that Kong comes from?
I don't know, but also keep in mind that General or Commander, whatever his name was, he was one of the people that designed Kong's, the Mechanikong.
What are you talking about?
Didn't they say that he was one of the designers of it?
No.
Oh, I'm just dumb.
I don't think so.
I thought, yeah, because Doctor Who later on is like, haha, after so many years, Commander Carl.
Oh, is that the guy who he stole it from? Because there's a weird connection they both share.
Yeah, he said earlier that he says it pretty early in the film that he stole it from Commander Carl Nelson. So
gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, so it just so happens, everything just happens to fall in place that the guy that designed the giant ape robot is
their sub stops in a certain area that just so happens to be just close enough to Kong.
And then they get out in their little floaty car and drive to the island.
Car, which I love.
I loved watching the miniatures in this one.
The miniatures in this were a lot of fun.
They were adorable.
I love ridiculous vehicles in movies, and I love gadgets in movies.
Yeah.
That's why I love James Bond. That's why I love the Batman movies, even when they get stupid. Because I'm like, yeah.
Batman's grappling gun go brrr.
There's something about it I just really enjoy. But yeah, so then they get to Mondo Island, and you have a full-on first appearance of Gorosaurus.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I will say that the way they did Gorosaurus looked way better than what they've done with dinosaurs in the past.
It looked really good. Also, can we talk about its drop kick?
Oh my god. They did the drop kick so many times, and then they would do close-ups on his little fingies wiggling.
Which I was like, somebody said while doing Godzilla, they're like, I just want to see his fingies.
And then the guy he went home and he built it, and he showed up to Toho the next day. He's like, I built the fingies, put the fingies in the dinosaur. And then every chance he got, he would move the camera while nobody was looking. And they're like, well, fuck, we can't. We banked on 123 minutes. We can't get rid of this footage now.
We can't now. God damn it!
Damn it!
So much footage of it.
Well, who could have kept pointing at those fingies? I am just as mad as everyone else.
So, and I will say, so the fight scene with Gorosaurus is fun.
Oh my god, it's so much fun.
It's so great, and it's what 15 minutes into the movie, and we're already
something
not
like
that
it was
long
like it was like
movie.
yeah, 30 minutes in. It was pretty early in.
It's not even 30. It's not even 30 minutes,
yeah.
man. This movie was an hour and a half.
Let's see. The fight actually properly starts at like 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes.
For a kaiju
yeah,
movie,
oh my god, so early.
Considered.
And
I mean, because even before that, we still got Mechanikong.
Yeah, they were. I love that in this version or this version
as they
of
call
Kong,
it Mechanikong.
Yeah, this version I do appreciate that Kong actually fought like a gorilla.
Oh, so that was the other thing. So I wanted to talk about the suit. Still looks weird.
The suit looks really fucking weird.
It looks weird, but it looks so much better than Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh yeah, and with the way that he was,
I don't know if you caught it, but there's still weird arm transitions.
Yes, there are still weird arms.
Show where Kong is like, but he's an ape, so he'd have longer arms. But then the fights are happening, and he's having to have grips and whatnot, so he's got short arms again.
Yeah, that was fun. That is funny, but
also,
like,
can we talk about King Kong walk? When he's walking,
oh my god,
far out shot, and the dude's trying to walk like an ape, kinda.
Yeah. Oh, and that what and he once again, I will say, like, I wish that they would come up with a better way for Kong to kill his dinosaur enemies than, ripping their mouth open.
Ripping their mouth open, just slamming into their chest over and over again, like they're trying to perform CPR.
Yeah, like I wish they would do a movie where like King Kong gets like an axe or something.
That'd be cool. They'll never do it.
I don't think they don't have the fucking balls to do it.
But no. So then you've got your typical damsel in distress. Kong ends up falling for the blonde.
The crazy thing about it is I was looking at her when she first showed up. She looks like, for being an actress that that only was in like 4 or 5 things, she looks really familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why. I wish I knew why.
I mean, we'll find out. We'll do a deeper dive into figuring out this Linda Miller situation that we've stumbled into.
Well, here the thing is
weird wormhole.
People people for the longest time didn't know who the hell she was.
Is that so?
Like according to her Wikipedia page, like she was basically she wasn't findable. She like after a couple of things, she kind of just disappeared and didn't start making she was like rediscovered in like 2014.
Okay.
And since then she has been touring and going to some conventions. So, yeah, it's weird.
I don't understand, like, literally, you type in King Kong escapes cast.
Yeah.
And this Linda Miller is the first person who pops up.
The one born in 1942 in New York?
Yes, and so this is so crazy because it shows King Kong escapes in the bio on the Google page. The first thing that pops up, and it's got all her info about how old she is, supposedly still alive at 82 years old, if this is the correct one. And if this is the other Linda Miller, who I'm saying there is stuff that they've done. If that's the real, it's the daughter of Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, that's not the same Linda Miller. So it's
just so this is fascinating to me.
There are a lot of Linda Millers apparently.
Yeah, but the fact that they've attributed this Linda Miller
mistakenly
man, it must be.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say I found this version of the damsel in distress that King Kong deals with to be one of the more
respectful,
palatable.
Yeah.
She wasn't like all the other ones. No offense to the previous actresses that played it. Product of the time. She's not just screaming the whole time. I feel like that's something that happens in a lot of the Kong damsels, is they just end up screaming nonstop. Whereas this one was more of like, hey, this giant monkey man picked me up, but I'm not going to let him be the one in charge.
This is so crazy. I'm sorry. I'm still going down.
You're still you're going into the Lindaverse?
Dude, I'm deep in the Lindaverse right now. So she lives right outside of my hometown.
The other Linda Miller?
Yeah, the Linda Jo Miller.
No, that Linda Jo Miller's the right one.
That's what I mean. This Linda, I'm telling you.
As of 2014, yeah, she lives in Powhatan, Virginia.
How do you say that?
Powhatan.
It's Powhatan.
Oh, I read it like a white person. Powhatan.
No, I'm saying it how everyone in that area says it, man.
I'm saying I said it like a white person.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's Powhatan.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I read it as Powhatan.
I get it. Every time you say it, I want to hit you.
He's the father of Pocahontas.
Huh? Yes, I know.
I didn't know. This is cool for me. I'm learning things.
Okay. This is that area of Virginia where that happened.
I didn't. Oh, that's right.
The
It did
real
take place in
Pocahontas. Not the Disney version.
No,
the real one.
Well, I mean, the Disney version took place in Virginia too.
Yeah.
Jamestown, right?
Yeah.
I will name this land Jamestown. And then they sang about digging. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, 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 diggy.
All right, back onto the task.
Sorry,
I had to.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, no. So I definitely thought that Linda Jo Miller's performance as the lieutenant was far less just nonstop screaming and more.
Well, so it started that way at first.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the first time. Oh, boy. All right, this movie looks really good, but there's some jank, man.
A lot of
There's
jank, yeah.
The moments where the first time Kong picks her up, and it is clearly they didn't have it's like the dude in the suit holding like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
And it's not even a blonde wig. They're just like, well, we've got this little red one we could put on her, but it's like a wig on.
When I was watching it at first, I was thinking like, oh my god, they didn't even get an actress. Like, I figured that the Japanese version had the ginger hair. I didn't realize that the white actresses were actually the ones that they used for this film. I thought that this was just the Americanization, and they were just like, blonde is close enough. But holy shit, yeah, there was even a point where I'm pretty sure it was a black wig on the doll.
Oh yeah, no, there's multiple times that did happen. There is multiple points where there are different dolls being used with different hair. Which thankfully there's. I don't know if it's just because you stopped noticing it, or if it's just more in the sense that they front loaded those scenes, and then they stopped doing them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also the other thing that I really like that they nailed, like, once again, the thing that I like about her not being a typical damsel in distress is the fact that, like, everyone that she's with, and including her, has the wherewithal. Like, she can control Kong.
Yeah,
like, she's gonna yell at him.
I mean, she's not really yelling so much as she's just talking to him like he's a giant toddler,
which is true.
Which is great, and I love that. I love the implication that, based on context clues, Kong can figure out what ship means.
Yeah.
Hey, Stop shaking the boat. This ship is where I live. I sleep here. I eat here. And Kong's just like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Oh, damn, okay.
I didn't know no better. Also, okay, speaking of when they're in the water splashing about, the fight against the sea serpent
was great.
Oh my god. So as I loved the part as they're driving, they're flying their little hovercraft back, and you see the sea snake, and they're like, oh my god, sea snake. And then Kong throws a fucking, what was it, a rock at it?
Yeah.
And it hits the snake in the head, and the snake gently nudges the craft, and they're like, oh my god, our controls have locked up. And I was like, you are so full of shit. and then the little like simulation module craft just starts rattling as they're splashing water on it over and over again. And I'm like, this was like a big budget film.
You know, I mean, they didn't not put money into it. I mean, they did a good job.
The majority of their budget was blown on hiring King Kong to come back.
And making sure that Doctor Who had a perfectly fine top row of teeth.
Yeah, when was his TARDIS supposed to show up?
I don't know, but at the same time, there is part of me that I'm like, I think they did just rip off Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Because he even has the same kind of hat when they're out in the snow, like that tall black hat kind of thing. And I'm like, are they just ripping off Doctor Who? Is that why his hair looks the way it does?
Let's see, what year did that came out in 67?
The movie is 67. Doctor Who started in 63,
right,
the day after Kennedy was shot.
No, I know that it started back in 63. I'm just trying to see which Doctor was the Doctor at this point. And it was
but that's the thing. This guy, it looks like the first Doctor. Look at the pictures of the first Doctor.
Okay, let me see. Oh, you're right. They were just like, I'm so evil. I'm like the evil Doctor Who.
Yeah, and he's even got this tall black like winter hat on too.
He even does similar expressions to him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like the eyebrow raise. Oh my god, iconic.
Yeah. I think they just had him. Okay, there's this really popular British show. You should check it out.
We're gonna take the villain from that show and make him the bad guy for our. Oh, he was the hero on that show. Shit, we've sunk a lot of money into making him the bad guy, so we're just gonna morally gray area. Morally gray area.
Please.
So they're rattling around in this little floating hovercraft. And then the sea serpent is just splashing about so much, causing all this rain. And King Kong's like, dang, I'm going to go help. And
I think you'll appreciate this. I had this ridiculous thought the whole time that scene was happening against the sea serpent.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, I just feel bad for the guy in the suit who's covered in fucking fur. Like,
he's in soaking wet matted fur, and he's just acting like Buffalo Bill when he's got the shawl on.
The other thing, while talking about the suit while we're at it, the chest makes me upset.
It looks like he had top surgery to get breast reduction.
It does. It looks like that shitty female Queen Kong.
Yeah.
Just like, she's got boobs.
She got boobs. This King Kong got boobs. It's got boobs, but we took the boobs off. This is formerly Queen Kong.
Yeah.
I like, God, this whole interaction between the Lieutenant and Kong is just odd, because it's very much like she's manipulating Kong to do what she wants, but it doesn't make sense why or how he understands what she's telling him to do.
Not in the slightest. Other than once again. So the only thing that I could possibly think of and why it makes sense, or like what the thought process is because this is a tie-in to the TV show.
Right.
And the kids would talk to Kong in that same way.
Yeah. I mean, and that part would make sense, but at the same time, like, I feel like, again, I feel like this is an adaptation, but they took a lot of free will, because there was actually an episode of the TV show that was just called Doctor Who. So I feel like they adapted a couple episodes. I could be wrong, very wrong. We're gonna watch the whole TV show.
I was gonna say I am not fully aware of that, but
we're gonna watch all 25 episodes of it.
Because it was 3 seasons, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was back when they were only doing 10 to 12 episodes a season.
Right, but still, I mean, even for a cartoon back then, that's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is pretty.
But yeah, so, yeah, so I love at multiple points in this movie our villains, both sides. Madame Piranha or Madame X, whichever, very much gives off the vibe like, oh, she might be evil.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure she's evil. She plays it so cool. But she, like, the first time they fail, she's immediately like, oh, that's it. All right, I'm leaving. We're going to do something else.
Yeah.
I'm out. And she tries to back out. And then Doctor Who's like, no, you don't understand. Like, we're too deep.
You're in too deep. Your country's giving us so much money already.
Yeah, your country's giving us so much money. We have to.
You don't understand. We're going to build this monkey again.
But even still, like, both villains at some point were like having an existential crisis. Like, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this. What are we doing here?
Well, also, what I loved is the villains did not get along.
No, they didn't. I do like that.
It was very much like Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa in the 3rd season of Power Rangers when they got married. Like, they're butting heads constantly.
Christ.
What?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that they got married?
No.
You want to know something else that'll fuck you up? They had a kid.
Why?
He didn't show up until way later, but it was in one of the anniversary seasons. And yeah, the kid showed up. He was like a grown-ass evil warlord. It was awesome.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the point. They didn't like each other. These two were fighting the entire movie. Like, she was so ready at a moment's notice to just be like, yeah, I'm out. And he kept pulling her back. He's like, no. Look. We're gonna build another robot. It's gonna be better this time. And she's like, well, that's not gonna work. And he's like, okay, fuck it. We'll get Kong himself to come and dig for us. And
you just said you built a better Kong. It's this one. Okay, that's crap.
Well, he's the OG. You can't do better than the OG. That's why they keep bringing Superman back from the dead. Come on. And then Kong breaks out. And she's like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. And he's like, oh, no. We'll have the monkey robot fight Kong. And she's like, okay. The monkey robot that you said is worse than Kong, right? Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to kidnap Kong's little girlfriend and hold her hostage. Then he has to do what we're going to say. And she's like, oh, my God. I tossed my chips in with the wrong gambler.
Yep. It's like, this dude's fucking crazy.
This guy is out of his goddamn lunatic mind.
He's out of his gourd.
And
what are we doing?
Once again, we have the climactic, one of the climactic scenes of the film take place at that big Eiffel Tower looking radio tower.
Yep. Which, by the way, this version, pretty impressive because it did hold the weight of two dudes fighting on it.
Two big ass gorillas. And we what, let's see, what was it? The first time we saw it was in Godzilla, right? The original.
Yes. It constantly comes back.
Yeah, and it's it's a landmark, so it makes sense. It's just funny that this is the third movie that we've seen it in so far.
Speaking of multiple movies that we have seen and will see again, is Mr. Hideo Yamamoto. We will see again pretty goddamn soon.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I don't think I've seen him in the films yet at this point.
Right. So we're gonna see him in
a lot of them.
In Ghidorah.
Right.
And then he makes quite the return in 2001 in All Monsters Attack.
So Hideo is in a lot more than just that.
Also known as Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack.
Right. So he was in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. He was also in Ibira, Horror of the Deep.
Did you know the story about Ibira?
No, I don't.
So that's what this movie was supposed to be.
Okay.
This movie was supposed to be King Kong versus Ibira.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they thought it was too weird.
Oh.
And they didn't make enough sense, so they're like, let's not do it. Let's have Godzilla fight him.
So the other one that he was in was Atragon, which is the origin of Manda.
Oh, okay.
So he was in Atragon as well. So he's in a significant number of like Godzilla adjacent. Well, he's in All Monsters Attack, and then he jump up to the late 90s, early 2000s. He's in the Godzilla, Mothra, and Ghidorah. That's the one that Godzilla's the actual villain, right?
He's actually from Kamen Rider too.
Yeah, he was in a lot of the Kamen Rider and like
Ultraman,
Super Sentai adjacent series.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be seeing him a lot more then, because I've been watching some.
And then we also have him in All Monsters Attack. The 1969 with Baby Godzilla.
Yeah. So here's the thing about so the actor that plays the Japanese soldier in this one, Lieutenant Commander Jiro, he has been in goddamn near everything Godzilla up to date.
Right.
Like, I didn't realize how many. So he was Ogata in the original Godzilla. And then he was in everything else up to this point, as I said. A lot of Japanese stuff, which is weird to me.
Yeah, is it?
So much Japanese media.
It really catches you off guard.
Mothra,
much Japanese movies.
He was in Mothra versus Godzilla. King Kong Escapes.
Can we talk about how old Hideo Yamamoto looks in this movie? Which, mind you, this movie came out in
67.
67. He lived until 2003.
Oh yeah, guy was old as shit when he died.
He died on Jasmine's birthday.
Damn. Happy birthday, Jasmine.
Happy birthday. You killed Hideo Yamamoto.
You killed a living legend.
He killed a legend. Well, he's not living anymore.
But I really love that this climactic moment keeps happening on the radio tower. And for this one, we actually get a recreation of the original King Kong with Mechanikong climbing the tower while carrying the hot blonde, right?
Right.
And King Kong's just like, hell no. Get me up.
That's my shtick.
Get me up that tower. I am going to get my babe back.
That's my thing. You can't take my thing. How dare you?
And Kong rescues him, and Kong rescues Linda from certain death, and then they're like, okay, now we got to get down to the pier before the evil guy gets away.
Yes.
And they're like, Kong, go to the pier, stop the ship, and then we get
Go ahead.
We get a beautiful shot of King Kong running down a pier in a sprint, and a little miniature car racing along right behind him, and I'm just like, there is absolutely no way they thought that looked realistic.
I don't care. I love it so much. I'm glad it exists.
And then Kong rips the rudder or the propeller off the ship
and throws it at the ship.
And this was the moment that I was completely taken out of my immersion, because the close-up shots, it shows sailors all over the deck, right?
All over the deck.
And then Kong throws the propeller, and suddenly the deck is completely empty.
Completely empty.
And then it cuts to another shot of the fully loaded deck, and dudes are falling over like, oh my god, he's gonna hit us. And immersion lost at that point. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It is jarring. That's the work of miniatures, you know? I mean, otherwise, what do? Put little figures on there and it looks bad, too.
Yeah.
You know, it's campy shtick, you know?
It was campy for sure.
So fun. Speaking of camp, we have to talk about Madame Piranha's death. So first of all, our heroes get kidnapped and taken to the North Pole.
Yes.
And then they get to Japan really fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, the North Pole's only a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, really just a skip, really. I mean, golly, it's, you know. But there's the full-on, let's separate them. Let's put them in different
split
rooms,
these fuckers up.
We're gonna mess them up, and then we're gonna get them to turn on each other. How should we split them up? Let's take the main captain, because I have history with him. We're going to try to seduce him. How are we going to seduce him? Well, we're going to have Madame Piranha, who's already feeling conflicted about everything that's happened, try to convince him to come to their side. Is it going to work? No, absolutely not. But we're going to freeze his friends.
I also love that the most unnatural, like, shoehorned relationship I've ever seen in one of these movies. It's just like the whole time we see Linda talk to the Japanese dude like twice throughout the whole movie, and then when they're getting ready to separate them, the commander's like, leave those two together. They're a beautiful couple. And it's just like,
oh god. Well, so all right, so there was a couple of moments where they were holding hands or just something.
Yeah.
So there was definitely some chemistry that was there. It did feel really weird to call them a beautiful couple.
Yeah, don't separate that beautiful couple. I was like, what the fuck? Where did that come in?
No, but that is this thing that was said or something along that line. But it was still funny because I was like, I bet this guy's being a dick.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we're going to put him in the room and we're going to turn the temperature down to 0.
That dude said it like he heard them arguing. He's like, I have just a thing to tell them before I walk away and they never see me again.
I want my face to be the last thing those two see before I die, and then they feel haunted by what I said for the rest of their lives.
Yes, exactly.
Ah, God, it was... Yeah, and keep in mind, this is the same prison they're holding Kong. In the cell right next to his mechanical counterpart, where Kong sees it and starts hallucinating that it's one of his friends.
Yeah.
Oh man, this whole experience was just wild.
It was so fun. It was so very fun. I do like this movie a lot. Also, I just love the close-up shots of Kong as he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
They're getting drowsy in his eyes. It's just like, Kong, I feel it, man. I get it. So we didn't.
Her death.
We're gonna talk about Madame Piranha's death. So she gets shot, and then gets shot twice, 2 times more, or 3 times more, or something. And it was played out long, like ridiculous, like that guy who gets shot in slow mo, and he's just.
Yeah, her head's whipping back and forth with every shot. And they don't show the bullets penetrating her. The only one we actually see hitting her is the one where she gets shot in the arm by mistake.
Which was so weird. Like, why did you ever get shot in the arm?
Yeah. And then she's like, "Look, what we're doing is wrong. We need to stop." And Doctor Who's like, "Nah. I could kill you." Bam, bam. And then he looks at
He did say I could kill you.
And then he looks at his homeboys and he's like, "Nah."
Kill you.
He's like, "Hey, guys, that was the cool line, right?" And all of his henchmen are like, yeah, man, that was ice cold, bro. You fucking killed it."
That was and then you hear a rim shot.
Oh man! And then King Kong goes home and everyone's happy, but the there's a character we have neglected to talk about this entire film.
Have we?
That is the guy that lives on Mondo Island.
Oh, the old dude.
The poor old islander that's just there. He's there to warn them, like, you're in Kong's territory. And it's one of those...
Is he the only guy on the island?
We don't see anybody else the entire time.
Like all the other Godzilla, Kong movie, and like everything else, there's always been a tribe of people.
Right.
And I think, so, I mean, a lot of this movie is a lot of retread to reestablish King Kong.
Right.
And give you exposition. Like, it's not a ton of exposition, but it is very much... I mean, this is Toho's only official still remaining, because there were two, as we mentioned in our first Godzilla episode, there was a proto...
There were two King Kong Japanese films.
One of them was called King Kong, and then one was called something else, but it was still King Kong adjacent.
I think it was like...
And they are just lost to time.
King Kong. Hold on a minute. I'm pulling it up.
But other than those two movies, which came out in close succession to the original King Kong in the 1930s.
Yeah.
They are just lost to time.
So there was Japanese King Kong, and then there was...
It was something where it was called King Kong, but it was more of like the ape was used as a henchman to kidnap people.
The second one was called King Kong, that appeared in Edo, and yeah, he was much more human sized.
King Kong of Edo.
But yeah, they're both lost because I think it was that fire in Japan or something. Yeah,
I think so. But other than that, this Toho King Kong Escapes is the only King Kong movie they did.
Right, that's just purely King Kong.
Right, just standalone King Kong. So they really did feel like they had to retread some water, which was fine because I feel like they did it in a way enough where it wasn't like, we get it, we know the story. I didn't think it took away from anything.
Oh no, it definitely, they did something a little bit different. Like usually we get introduced to the natives and then we get introduced to it's this whole thing about we need the girl.
Also, it was really nice just avoiding any problematic Japanese people in blackface.
That is true.
Again.
But then we got we had the one islander, and he showed up literally to be like, "Hey, you guys don't want to be here. This is a bad place to be." And then unfortunately he gets shot.
It's shot.
Yeah, like Doctor Who shoots it. He's like, we found this is where Kong is. Great. Now we're gonna kill you. And the dude's
they just killed him. He wasn't even threatening them or saying like,
nothing.
I'm gonna stop you from taking Kong. They're like, this dude's annoying. Just kill him.
This dude's annoying. 6 shots, reloads, shoots again, and even his crew is like, dude, Doctor Who, that was kind of fucked, man. He was just out here with his nipples out, man. He wasn't even doing anything.
Meanwhile, Doctor Who's like, he's an islander. He lives by himself. I did him a favor, is what he might as well have said.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
How do we make sure people know that Doctor Who is in fact a bad guy? Let's have him kill an islander.
Don't you think that the evil outfit and big hair will be enough? No. Shoot. shoot him an Islander.
And not the fact that he tells everybody, I could kill you. I would kill you.
I'll kill you again. Do
Kill
it.
you again. I'll fucking do it again.
I'll fucking do it again. Oh God, it was rough. It was a rough movie. We made it through though. We did. We made it through the whole thing.
Yeah, there were parts that were unpolished, and yes, there were some pacing issues here and there. But ultimately, I loved this movie. I think it's so fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We have so much to thank this movie for moving forward with our Godzilla movies. This movie is the direct inspiration that led us having Mechagodzilla.
Oh, it's offensive that that's the case.
I disagree. I think it's perfect. It's so strange to me because Mechagodzilla was like the first for me as far as like a mecha kaiju.
Sure.
And so I was like, oh, cool. They also did one for Kong. And then to find out that this movie came first before.
The movie came
like,
years before.
Well, not even a little bit. Like, it was several years.
I think it was a full 7 years before the Godzilla got Mechagodzilla.
I think you might be right on that.
Oh man. And honestly, like this is now that we've talked about it and I've had a little more time to reflect on it, I will say I do like this one better than Mothra versus Godzilla. This still isn't like very high on my list though.
I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy it. I unlike Godzilla versus Mothra and some of these other Godzilla films, King Kong Escapes was a later addition to my kaiju knowledge.
Right.
I found a Blu-ray copy of it at Half Price Books. And I was like, I didn't even know this existed. And this was probably during COVID. And I was like, oh, sweet. I need something to watch while this is, all this shit's going on. And I remember Jasmine and I were watching it, and she's like, Brandon, this movie is ridiculous. And I was like, I know, it's amazing. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I will say that this, while
also,
absolutely...
Can we talk... Let's mention, hey, why is this movie called King Kong Escapes? It's because he escapes from the mines.
Literally, I was watching, waiting, and then he's like, oh no, Kong escaped. And I was like, you fucker. You
said the movie.
You did not just say the line.
He did.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. I was like, I can't believe they did it.
The balls on those fuckers, they done did do it.
I loved it. I done did loved it. Yeah, this movie. The villains are so fun. Hideo Yamamoto chews up every scene that he's got. No,
for
pun
sure.
Considering,
he chews a lot.
Just the top half though.
Yeah.
I if you don't believe me, how about... So here's the thing. If you Google it, there's not going to be a ton of images that pop up. You'll see one image, you're like, oh, that looks interesting. What's happening there? You have to watch the movie in motion because the stills don't do it justice. You will be surprised. And I'm not trying to shame him or anything. The dude's an amazing actor. I did find clips of his original voice without the overdub, and the dude's still great. Even just his regular voice is amazing.
Yeah.
But I will say who was it? Paul Frees, I think.
Yeah, Paul Frees
is the voiceover for the males in this movie.
Yeah.
And
and the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Right. He did such a good job overdubbing Yamamoto.
Oh, yeah. absolutely lunatic performance of it. But yeah.
Oh, amazing! I love it. Like I said, it's like watching Bill Hader when he's doing an old guy impersonation. He just kind of leers into the camera too long with his head tilted down just a little bit, so he's kind of glaring.
And he's kind of got the shadows under his eyes just ever so slightly. Yeah.
Just ever so slightly. And because just watch it and tell me you don't think about Bill Hader and Dick Van Dyke having a love child together.
Yeah. I could see it.
I love this movie. It's so ridiculous. And I will say the thing that when I was researching this movie when I was watching it, I was like, man, it's such a crazy concept for a King Kong movie. I wonder why this exists, and the fact that that this is a tie-in is so crazy to me to find out that this is a tie-in to an anime.
Oh yeah.
Which now I'm excited. I started watching some clips for the anime, and I was like, I can't wait to watch this.
Are we going to review that entire series? Because I think we should.
I think we need to. If we're going to do this movie, I feel kind of bummed out that we didn't know about it before, considering the planning that we put into this.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have watched that first. And then, because we're going to do, and I bring it up because we're going to do the Godzilla animated series from the 90s.
Oh, we're doing the whole thing.
I mean, I thought we were.
Hell
Isn't that
yeah.
the plan?
I mean, that was my plan. I didn't know that you were hard for it too.
Oh, no, dude, I'm fully committed to this.
Shit, yeah.
Hey, so I just saw, because I think this is pertinent to since this is a Godzilla show that we do. Did you see the latest Godzilla comic book news? You can say no.
I think Jose sent it to me. I'm trying to remember what it was. Godzilla, the Avengers, right?
Yes, so Godzilla is going to be going against the Avengers, but it's far more than just that. They are officially converging the Godzilla universe into the Marvel universe.
Oh shit.
Yes, in the comic book.
Okay. Well, you know that.
Yeah. So, which means I think I need to get back into comic books.
Well, have you seen the Power Rangers Godzilla crossovers they've been doing?
I haven't, because I've been waiting for them to come out and trade.
Because I definitely want to talk about that one.
Oh no, I'm definitely down. I think that fits into this show very well.
Yeah. That's one I'm excited to get to, because I've been waiting to
do it. I want to do it because I think that's a perfect crossover.
Yeah.
I think that's a better crossover. Like, I'm excited for the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Godzilla and Power Rangers, that's like an Oreo cookie. That's perfection.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that the reason they're doing the Avengers is because they just did an Ultraman Avengers one too.
Right, but it's deeper than that, because I think Marvel has the ownership of the rights to Godzilla in the comic books now.
Again?
I think so.
Oh shit. Let me see. Marches across the Marvel universe.
I just can't allow myself to go down this wormhole again.
Oh no, I'm very selective with what comics I pay attention to nowadays. Yeah, no, you're right. They're doing some more Godzilla comics. Also, I do think at some point we should talk about the original Marvel comics, Godzillas.
The Godzilla, not Godzilla.
Yeah, the Godzilla that started off as Godzilla, but then became something completely different.
Yeah, there it is. I'm excited too. I'm all about it. And also, right there they have one of my favorite iterations of Godzilla.
Which one was it?
Don't just that one. It's like
the Millennium one. Okay.
Millennium. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Don't get crazy. Just give it to me. Yeah. Like, they didn't do that.
I like the old green one.
The old green one's fine. I'm just saying, as far as like my favorite, it's not my favorite.
I get it.
'Cause, come on, you have your favorite eras of Power Rangers, like as far as looks and everything, and I have my favorite eras of Godzilla.
Look, man, let's be real here. It's everyone's favorite era of Power Rangers. Back when they were good.
Mighty Morphin?
Mighty Morphin Through Space. Yeah, that's when that was the original, the OGs.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
I just lost interest when their costumes and the lore and everything just started getting way too crazy for me.
Well, you know, I get it.
Like, what was it? The police force one?
Oh,
that they
SPD?
did? Yeah, I hate that.
You know what's the crazy thing is, so Power Rangers SPD, the Space Patrol Delta series, took place in 2025.
We have only disappointed everybody.
I know. There's no aliens living comfortably on Earth. There's no...
Oh, I think that's actually happening. I think they're very comfortable. They're so comfortable we don't even know about them.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so everyone thinks that they're gonna have some big like anniversary episode, like series for it, because I think it is their 20th anniversary or something of that specific series. Let me see. Yeah, that series started in 2005, so this will be their 20th anniversary special for that. And so everyone thinks they're going to do something huge, because it's like not only is it the 20th anniversary, but also, you know, it's the year it actually took place. So that should be exciting.